I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming this evening to our June 20th work session meeting. And excuse my voice, I've been losing it all day, so my apologies. We'll entertain public comment if anyone has anything they would like to discuss. Just your name and address.
Nancy Donaldson, 4 Emerson Drive, Washingtonville. I was just wondering, we often walk in this garbage, so I was wondering if that was a thought to put like garbage receptacles on, it's like North Street, between, where Bull is, that area, across from the line, across from the cemetery.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Yeah, wait, you're running into a lot of refuge on the ground?
We always do when we walk, so we always bring a bag and pick up. We don't know if it's coming from cars or kids walking home from school sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would help.
Yeah, we could, right there is a sidewalk, so it'd be pretty hard to do it at that location, but potentially at Ahern and North Street. Something, receptacle could be put there.
Yeah, I pictured it on the sidewalk side for people to
Yeah,
walk.
we can check it out to see if there's enough room to put something there.
Bolt it to something, the
Yeah.
guardrail or something, I don't know.
Yeah, we just don't want to put in this sidewalk area so people then have to walk around that to get into the street, et cetera, but.
Yeah, there's grass between the sidewalk and the, what do you call that? Bumper thing?
By the guardrail?
Guardrail, yeah,
Yeah.
there's grass there.
Okay, we'll check that out. We'll make a note. Anything else? Anybody?
This is Mike Graziano, Lark Street. I know you guys have had your hands full the first start of your session here. Had mentioned one time about do not block the box by North Street and in front of the old, it's Turner's Hardware, if you want to go back that far. In front of the Village Hall, Village Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So many times when people come from, say, from the school district, middle school, and they go to take a left up North Street, it's totally blocked, and it causes everybody to back up to the traffic light. I had called the Department of Motor, not Department of Motor, DE, Ipan Poughkeepsie.
Okay, probably DOT.
DOT, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes, I called the DOT, and there is a form to fill out. So we can just maybe pursue that at some point when you guys get some other things done. The only other thing I wanted to make a suggestion, I don't know if you're, just a suggestion. In front of Allstate right there, there's like 3 parking spots.
Yep.
And for people to like try to get into like the plaza where F&J is and stuff like that, it's limited parking there. But those 3 spots there, if they could limit that to like a 15-minute parking zone in front of that spot, because they do have a parking lot for the old Allstate building
Right.
in the back. So maybe they can consider doing something like that just to give people more on-street parking.
Yeah, that's,
Just an idea.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Mike, I'm sorry, what was the first concern?
Oh, do not block the box in 2 spots. North Street,
North
right
Street?
by Stewart's there, right? They put an X there. Have you ever seen it in the city and stuff in various areas there? And in front of the old hardware store, Village Hardware, turning into the public parking lot. Say coming through from 208 north, heading south, going through the traffic light there. You try to make a left into the Village parking lot, you can't get in because people block that.
That's
So-
by the laundromat.
Yes.
Yeah, I went through there the other day, and it just stopped up traffic because it's blocked up 208. So you can't, if somebody's making a left to go in, you can't proceed down 208 and back up right to the light.
So are you looking for
It's a marking in the pavement, and it's also a sign. It says, do not block the box.
Yeah.
It's
State
standard
DOT.
there.
Yeah, that would be another one for the DOT.
Yes, and there is a form, they
Yeah.
said, because I called, they said that, you guys can fill out a form. I had actually mentioned to the last administration,
Okay.
didn't happen.
There is a sign there too, I believe, unless someone took it down. There was a sign just in front of the parking lot where the laundromat is to say, don't block intersection.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's gone.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't see a sign, but if they see a marking in the pavement with an X, it kind of
Yeah, yeah, great.
spells it out.
I know I got honked up and I'm pulling up.
Yeah, we'll check that out. Good.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. So the first thing under our discussion was the MS4 reporting for 2021 and 2022. We had reported that we were fined by DEC from the previous administration not filing 4 years' worth of reports. The original fine was close to $4,000, but we negotiated it down to approximately, it was like $2,600. The good news is right now we had a conference with the DEC and they gave us a little bit of leeway. So we were able to get the 21 MS4 report completed, and the 2022 report was actually sent up to them yesterday. So we were ahead of schedule on that, and we'll be, we're in compliance as far as that goes right now. Any comments on any of that?
No, that's the stormwater management plans, correct?
Correct, that's stormwater management, and it's required on an annual basis.
So the
Next.
audience knows, this is how, we have to prove to the DEC how we control runoff once there's a storm on our streets and stuff, and that requires annual filings.
Anything else, guys? Okay. Next item is PKF, that's our auditors for 2019 and 2020, that's due to be completed by June 30th. The 2021-22 audit, that will be completed actually after the 2022-23 audit. What we've done is hired an additional firm. I think we mentioned this at the last meeting as well, but the additional firm is going to go after the latest audit that should be done, which is 2022-23. We're kind of attacking it from both ends, in a sense. And once those audits are done, we'll be able to do those AUD reports that are required from New York State. And then from there, that will bring all our audits and our AUD reporting up to snuff. And then maybe we can get our bond rating back. The biggest concern is, again, that the audits obviously were not done. And the largest issue is really not knowing where we truly stand. Our treasurer has been going through all the previous audits that were completed, plus all the paperwork that we currently have in-house. And as you know, the computer system wasn't used during the last 4 to 6 years. So everything again is being done manually with paper. We just did a estimation of where our budgets might land. The last 4 years, we seem to be running a deficit between $400,000 and $500,000 for the last 4 years. Now that's unaudited, but that's the numbers that we're kind of coming up with right now based upon, what we're seeing, what we're paying, because we can't use or trust the current budget because the numbers are very skewed. And so we're treating it as basically a zero balance. We're not really wasting any time with it because we only have so much money in our A fund, which is our active fund. The G fund and the F fund are for water and sewer, which are dedicated to the side. So again, we're working really hard to get that done. We're also working again with New York State so that we can bring in and get a forensic audit done. We're just waiting for some dates and things along those lines. We're a little frustrated with that. probably say more than frustrated, we're really asking, why can't you come? So we're waiting on that to happen, and then once it does, I think, we'll really get to the bottom of all the audits and really where we stand at the end of the day. Any questions on any of that?
I just want to add the comment, the good thing about the state coming in and doing it, it doesn't cost us money. So we don't have to hire a separate accounting firm to do forensic auditing, they will do it.
Right. Good point.
Look like they're mercy for
Yeah, we just can't drive them here. The next item is the deficit bond bill that was recently passed in the House or in the Senate and the Assembly. And that was done through Senator Skoufis and Assemblyman Marr. They did a fantastic job with their staff to get the bill to the floors and get them passed. Currently, the bill is waiting for signature by the governor. We have sent a letter to the Senate, which was elevated to the senior senators that, I guess, work with the governor on a daily basis. So basically a letter requesting and explaining our urgencies of funding was put into a letter, gave to the senior senators, and they brought that up to the governor's office. So we're waiting to hear potentially a day that they will be able to sit down and sign this bill. And then that would allow us to borrow up to $4.5 million if it became necessary to start that process. And we're gonna have some meetings coming up the end of this week to kind of forecast and plan that out with our bond people, attorneys, et cetera, to get our hands around that. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is a Department of Transportation grant that was in the works for, Secord and Emerson Drive. And it was for $100,000, and it was going to be given again by DOT. And I said was supposed to. So I say supposed to because that grant became invalid because the work that the village did last year on that project needed to wait until the state DOT approved and gave us the contract to sign. Because we initiated the work in advance, right now we're not going to be able to take advantage of $100,000 for that drainage work and paving and whatever we could really use that for. Most of the drainage work that was done was all new. It was only really targeted for Emerson Drive. Nothing was really looked at for Secord Lane. And the other thing that really needed to happen but didn't was the original drainage that was in the street was metal piping, and it's been there for probably 40 years or more. That really should have been part of the scope of when they put in the new drainage to replace the old drainage. So what we're doing now is we're digging up that road again, pulling out all the metal piping and replacing it with plastic pipe and new drains and everything like that. Once that's complete, then we're going to get on a schedule for the state approved low bid paving company to then pave Secord Lane and Emerson Drive.
Is it Tilcon?
Tilcon, yes. Yeah, they had the state low bid. I've reached out to our engineer and Chris Martino to reach out to basically do somewhat of our own RFP, asking for any other company that's out there that could potentially beat the state bid price, because that happens from time to time. So we'll see what kind of money we can spend. The paving and reclamation of that road is in the neighborhood of $275,000. We have $403,000 coming in from CHIPS. That's the state program that we spoke about. There's several different programs, but all of that totaled up is about $403,000. So you can see that those two roads are going to take a big chunk out of that $403,000, which is going to limit what we can do on other roads. Excuse me.
Nancy?
And
Nancy, for Emerson. I remember the former mayor saying something about saving up the chip money to be able to do over the years, so he could save the village money by having a whole, like Ahern and our street and, Secord done like all at once.
Yeah,
So did you ever find that
well,
saved up money?
the amount of CHIPS money that you get is a certain amount every year. It's not like they're giving us millions of dollars. So the 403 is accumulated over 4 to 6 years, I want to say. So that's how much we would have to wait, probably 15, 20 years before you had any type of substantial money to think you could go out and then do a bunch of roads. You follow?
Yeah, so how much chip money does the village get every year?
I could get you that total. There's 4 different funds, different programs. And I don't remember the exact number, because again, there's four different programs, and I don't remember the exact numbers of what we receive on an annual basis. And I also heard that if you don't spend the money in the 3 or 4 years, that next previous year, that money disappears. It rolls off the list. So you really need to basically spend it when you got it.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah. So we'll make a note and we'll reach out to you, or at the next meeting we'll display that information. Okay?
Yeah, John Donaldson, 4 Emerson. Do you have a timeline on when this drainage work will be completed? Or,
I would hope, if not by the end of this week, the beginning of next week, that we'll be done with, we're adding an extra drain in Secord by number 7, because the way the water is running over there, he gets, apparently an area gets flooded. So we're gonna put a drain near his house so that it captures that water as it's coming down before it gets to the stream.
So do we know, I mean, right now, we just saw 2 pipes or drains, things in front of somebody's house on the corner. Is that from the village?
That's the pipes that they're replacing that were metal. They're crossing the roads in this direction.
Were they metal or plastic?
It's
They were
parallel to
plastic.
North Street, Tolman Road.
I think they were plastic.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that will end what we need to be doing, and then we'll bring in the trucks
Is
and then
that
we'll.
gonna be done on both sides of the street?
No, what, the design that is there now is permanent, that's it. As far as all the drains were concerned. That came from an engineering firm along with the contractor who did the work. So that's Emerson, and then and Secord has 3 existing, we're gonna add a 4th.
When the street gets reclaimed, does that mean you make it lower than people's property so the runoff goes into the street?
Typically, depending on how much reclamation they take out, it could sometimes generally raise the property or raise the road. So it depends how far they go down and what they take away. And then they calculate how much they need to basically roll and crush back into the sub-base. And then they figure out how many inches of of asphalt that they're gonna need. So we don't wanna be, that far above your lawn, right, at the end of the day. It needs to be curved, so water rolls off the road and then hits the new drains and everything else that were installed.
Okay, but if the drains are only installed on one side of the street and it's gonna be curved that way, aren't the people on the other side gonna get,
Well-
they get water right now as it is?
The White House on the corner, there's a drain there. The engineering company shot lines to know the elevation so that the water basically will run in the direction of the drains.
Okay.
So we have to keep our faith that they did the right thing. Twice. And we'll see. Anything else on that, folks? Okay. All right, so the next one is another DOT grant that we're going to put in for Patricia Lane and Beverly for another $100,000 for infrastructure work for drainage. And that's in the beginning stages, so we'll keep you abreast of that. Next item is the UTV and the trailer grant. That everything has been completed. We're just waiting to hear from the state that everything is good to go, and then we'll be able to get that purchase done. Received from the Orange County mortgage tax, we received a check for $87,000, which was promptly deposited, which is good news there. Item H is water conservation. We sent out a message in regards to our water, our wells are dropping, not significantly, but they're obviously dropping because of lack of rain. And I think because we had a very easy winter, not a lot of snowpack, that I feel like looking at lawns and stuff, that where we are in June, we were last year in August, because I think we had a more significant snow or winter event. So we're prepared. We have backup wells over at the Spindler property that we'll need to access. We'll take advantage of that to get more water into the system. And if we have to get to the point of mandatory, we'll obviously let everybody know where we are with that. But wherever you can save now, it's a good thing. Watering your flowers, do it with not a hose, use a, whatever they call those, water bucket and drain thing, yeah.
There is a lot of rain in the forecast for the next week, maybe that'll help.
All right, we don't need to talk about that.
Okay,
You're
well,
gonna change it? It's gonna go right around us?
Can I ask a question?
Mike,
So,
Are
Yeah,
they still drawing water from those wells, Spindler?
no, we only use that, we have DOH approval, but only in emergencies. And with that, we have a well over at the Fireman's Park, the Memorial Park. That will be going online shortly. We've been waiting, like everything else in life, these parts are just not available. And we're waiting for just a plastic tub where it mixes the water with the chlorine and other things. And we just drove up to Albany, we found one and we picked it up and drove it back. So hopefully that will be online by Friday. So we'll have an additional amount of water coming in from that well.
And we're trying to get, working on the Rieger wells.
Yeah, we need to work on the Rieger wells. There were 2 wells that were drilled. When was the phase 1? Probably 8 years ago, maybe at this point. But nothing was done with those wells in setting them up and getting them prepared for, our water system. So we need to get engineered, we need to engineer the wells, get them tested again, see what we can do, and then go out for grant money to pay for that.
So the audience knows, those are the ones down by Woodfield Park,
Right,
and they are high producers,
yeah.
as much as 100 gallons per minute out of each one. So if we can get those online, it will really solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. And the way the grants go, so it's gotta be almost like they say today is shovel ready. So we need to be able to get it engineered this year, be prepared to go out to bid next year to put the grant in, and then that goes in by July it's due. They award the bids in November so that the following year we could actually do the work. So if it's not 24, it's gonna be 25. It's not a same year process. Yes, sir, Dick.
Yeah, David Dodd, One Lincoln Drive. The well out by the Fireman's Park,
Mhm.
okay, that was contaminated with salt. When they dumped all that salt in that pond, they contaminated that well.
We've tested, it does have iron, magnesium, and something else, but it all passes DOH testing, and we just needed this, like I said, a part in a tank to bring that thing online. It's not a tremendous producing well,
It's a shallow
so we
well.
just feel, it's not shallow, but there's no aquifer there, it's a fairly deep well. But it'll be blended into the water, and if it's 30, 40, 50 gallons a minute, that'll be, just in addition to what we already have. Okay? All right, so item I was just an update or a reminder on the village fireworks display on July 7th, approximately 9:15. If it does rain, we have July 8th. Prior to that, there will be bands or a band There'll be food vendors, well, really nice setup. So the event committee has been working really hard on that with a number of our board members here. So we're literally looking for a nice day. And we have a meeting coming up, I think, this Wednesday to basically do our little safety tour with the fire department, ambulance corps, et cetera. So, hope everybody could make it. Okay, next would be Deputy Mayor Walski to give you guys an update on part-time police contract.
So we've had our first meeting with them. We now need to, you see there's an executive session for personnel. They've come with their request. It actually wasn't crazy. But we need to hammer it out. Obviously, they asked for more than we have to give. So we already have our second meeting set up for July. So we're moving forward with that. We hope to get them back into contract by mid-August, and this way everybody's a happy camper.
Cool, great, thank you. Next is the update on the comprehensive plan committee meeting that had their kickoff this past Thursday, and Trustee Jack Caruso will give you an update on that.
Okay, it finally got launched. We had Bonnie Franson come in with her assistant Sam from Nelson, Pope, and Boris. We chose 8 members. 7 of them were previous mayors from the former comp committee, and 1 new, just because
Somebody else decided not to move forward.
So we did open it up, just so folks know, to previous mayors first, previous members first. Right. It was a great turnout. I mean, some of you sitting here came to observe. We opened it up for public comment. At the end, anyone is welcome to come to any of the meetings. They will be held the 3rd Thursday of every month at 6:30 right here. They will last about 2 to 2.5 hours. And some of the feedback I got after that meeting was incredible. Anyone that was on the prior committee felt a huge difference in format and had great confidence in what Bonnie's going to be doing for our village. Nothing but positive things to say. All meetings are recorded. Usually I'll have them up in a day or so. My son was not around today. So I'll get them up as soon as I can. You're welcome to join, watch them if you can't attend. You can submit written comments as well. Sometimes you have a thought after the meeting. You didn't think of it here. Feel free to jot it down and email it to us, bring it in, and they will be addressed. I think that covers it. Any questions regarding the comp committee? And this does include the zoning piece as well.
I was impressed by the woman you selected to lead the thing. She's very inspiring.
You were here, right?
Yeah,
Right.
she did a great job.
She's
Yeah.
incredible. She really is. Very inspirational and proactive.
Yep.
And she loves what she does.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
guides you.
Very, very, very passionate. I had a lot of
And
people.
that was just the first meeting.
Yeah,
Wait
Yeah.
till we dig in. I mean, look, as she came prepared, you see binders were given to every member, and it's a more condensed group. The last group, like I've said before, had about 30 people on it, but 30 people certainly didn't show up. And it was hard because we were kind of left there to lead the meetings ourselves in our groups, and there wasn't the guidance that what we're getting here. She prefers to work with a smaller group, and so that's what we're doing. Any questions?
Anybody on board? No?
No, it was great.
Yeah, look forward to the
And
next one.
we also expect to have those meetings done by the end of December. None of those meeting dates and times, we were very fortunate because of tight schedules. None of it interferes with any of the holidays right through December. So we're very lucky. And if we need to extend, we'll extend. Right now, the projected time is the end of December, and then it goes to step B and C.
Thank you very much. Okay, next item L is an update update on the water and sewer billing from Deputy Mayor Walski.
So far, we have sent out notices for routes 1, 2, and 3. If the meters aren't working right, they need to get in there. They're changing with the little electronic readers are being changed if they're not working. So this way, when they ride through to get the readings, they can get accurate readings. We're also going after the larger commercial properties that aren't reading properly. Big one is Weathervane. There's 7 buildings in there that we need to get access to. So we've been in touch with management, the water company, and it's getting in there to get actual readings, that's a lot of money. The good thing is, because now we're separating out for the treasurer, when we get the payments, twice a month, she's actually separating out the sewer money, the bond money, and the well money. So we can rebuild those accounts to where they should be. They had been depleted on other things by previous administration.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a number of concerns, and Susan, you've been doing a great job with tackling all of this, and you probably mentioned, but we were also going forward pretty quickly on some of the bigger users of our system, because those seem to have more issues than others, but we're trying to get to the larger commercial users and get that stuff straightened out, because it's a tremendous amount of money that's being not accounted for. So we'll get to work on that and give you updates as we go. Any questions on any of that? Okay. Next is just a correspondence in regards to the mobile unit for the Department of Motor Vehicle. It was really the first time we did that. It was a wonderful turnout. There was a line there pretty much all day long. They do take a break for lunch between 12 and 1, but that unit will be back on July 25th. It'll be parked pretty much in the same location. So if anybody needs any motor vehicle needs, they do everything except for the written examinations. Okay. Now we'll get into some of our resolutions. This next resolution we're actually going to table tonight, because I received an email from the attorneys to say potentially we don't have the latest copy that was approved by the town. So we're going to sort that out, and Christine, if you don't mind, just make a note to put this on the next agenda, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so the next resolution is to authorize the Wizard Girls Varsity Swim and Dive Team to hold a car wash on Sunday, August 20th from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Village Veterans Park at 29 West Main Street. Have a motion, please? On the motion, second from Steve. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next, resolution to authorize the use of the Code of Ethics 2023 Annual Statement of Financial Disclosure for the Village of Washingtonville. Have a motion, please.
Motion?
Susan, second Donna. Questions, comments?
What does that mean?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you guys know, everybody who sits on any board in the village is going to be required to fill out this form, so there won't be any conflict of interest in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so this is probably one of the first boards that's going to have to take action. One of the things we also want to do is and I know Donna, I believe you're working on this, was having them go through some type of ethics training with the attorney, or there was another individual who does that type of training and educational for different municipalities. So we're going to do that and then put this out to all the employees, all the board members, and set a date for return, and it needs to be returned by that date, or potentially those people will be not allowed to participate in meetings. step on that. Next is the resolution to schedule a public hearing to be held on Monday, July 3rd at 7 PM to amend Chapter 28 of the procurement policy. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Any questions, comments?
Right before the 4th of July, public hearing.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think we probably would want to move it to our work session.
Yeah, not,
Let me get a
not a
date.
lot of people are gonna be around.
And that date will be the 17th of July.
So amended to the 17th?
That's correct. So we don't have a motion, we have a second. Any other comments, questions?
What is that?
I'm sorry?
What is that?
The seventh.
Procurement. So the procurement policy is our spending limits. Basically, how many quotes do we need if we're spending up to 5,000? If we're spending up to 15, what's the procedure of what the department head needs to do? $20,000, over $20,000, we have to go to a formal RFP bid process. So it's just levels to make sure that the processes are in place and they're being followed. Okay, any other questions on it, audience?
No, this way you can't go out and buy a $200,000 tractor?
That would be correct. Well, that's, I'll hold that comment. Yeah, all right, so let's retract a little bit here. So we're gonna schedule that meeting for the 17th of July have the public hearing. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second? Okay. Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign the Urban County Qualification Cooperation Agreement between the County of Orange and the Village of Washingtonville, also known as the Community Development Block Grant Program. Do I have a motion, please? Steve on the motion, second Don. Questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. So the Community Block Program is funds that, grant funds can come to the village and apply for different requests, like we put money from the development in parks. So depending on the limit of what they have available, we can apply for it, and we could put money towards, like I said, parks, playgrounds, things like that. Okay. The next resolution was going to be for the body cameras. We're going to put that, table that one as well.
Why are we tabling that one?
We're tabling this one because of the because it's over the $20,000 limit. And the company, as we understand it, was not on the state bid list.
Oh,
So we need to do an RFP and basically contact the same vendors, but just go through the process. Okay?
and so you guys know, this is done with a grant, it's not costing the residents any money. Kudos to the chief, because he went out and found a grant for it.
And Chief, we can get together tomorrow, or your availability, or we'll get this done. Chris, if you don't mind just moving this to the next meeting on the 17th, thank you. Okay, next is a resolution to accept the resignation of Village Police Officer Dominic Mandel, effective Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. Can I have a motion, please?
Make the motion.
Susan on the second. Steve, any questions, comments? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is a authorization special permit for alcohol beverages for the Independence Day celebration, which will be held over at the Burn Allen Park as discussed with the one with the fireworks. I have a motion on that, please.
Make the motion.
All
Gotta
right.
be quick, Vern, gotta be quick.
Vernon, you got the second. Susan, you have the motion. Any questions, comments?
Is that a specific vendor that will be selling, or you're just,
Yes.
everybody's allowed to bring their own?
Yeah, we have one vendor, and we have, the firehouse will be selling beer.
This is a trial run, because we have not done this before. It's very limited, it's gonna be consumed in a very limited space, there's not gonna be walking around the park with beers in hand and stuff.
IDs will be checked.
And we'll see how it goes, you know, we feel it should be, people should be responsible, it's a 3-hour event, it's not an all-day drinking in the park event. If it does not go well, it will not happen again. It's as simple as that, but until we try it, it really is a good fundraiser for the firehouse. They do it all over the county with the beer trucks.
You know, like I just went to an event recently to observe. And one of the Chester, the Chester Summer Concert Series, once a week, they do it once a week. And it's without incident, people are just
Hanging out, having a good time.
listening to music.
Like a roped off area?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Great.
It's a 20 by 40 area, the 2 trucks are gonna be parked next to each other, so, like I said, it's a trial run.
Right.
If it works out well, it works out well, if it doesn't, we don't have to allow it again.
And we'll be doing it as we go, right? It would be required by a resolution in any event, so for whatever time frame down the road, we will be able to do it by resolution. And a lot of planning has gone into this, again, between the committee and our police department, I think.
The
You know,
DPW,
Yeah, everybody's been on
Joint
board, and
effort,
again, we
yeah.
have another meeting this Wednesday to just go over it one more time, so. I'm thinking right now, we're feeling pretty comfortable with it.
people need to know, for fireworks, there is a lot of planning that goes into that process. We've already had 1 meeting on site. The meeting that we're having now Wednesday is we have the fire department coming out, we have the ambulance coming out, the police are gonna be there, the DPW is gonna be there, and the events committee is gonna be there. So it's really, as chaotic as it may seem, people just wandering around, it's really very well orchestrated in the background.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Folks? Okay. Next is the abstract to authorize budget transfers and amendments as necessary to effect the necessary transfers of funds to pay warrants. Have a motion, please.
Motion.
Vernon, first time, congratulations. I have a second from Steve. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, next is, portion is public comment. Anything you would like to discuss?
The weather, the news.
We're doing this weather, what's going on? Michael?
Are you tired of hearing from me yet?
No.
Never.
Okay. I just have a request. If you look at the town of Winter Grove's website, they have a section called upcoming events. It tells you about meetings and all the dates. You can go forward till August, September. It's really nice and handy, because a lot of times, I don't even know when the village board meeting is. I heard tonight is 17th, is that right? July 17th?
It's on the calendar.
Everything,
You don't see the calendar?
I did.
On 10992, Village of Washington, 10992.
Wait, hold on. So that's our Facebook page. We have an official village Facebook page, which still a lot of people are not, we got a huge amount in the beginning, hundreds in the first couple of weeks, and then it just kind of faded.
Okay.
But I post on that today probably 4 posts went out because of the water issue.
Right.
But I use that now, that's where I'm posting. The other is on our calendar. If you go onto our village website, that calendar is
It
updated,
is.
yeah.
And then on the left,
What's the
Yeah, so
URL?
the homepage
What's
is
the
where, you'll find the agendas, whatever's current.
what's the URL for that? What do you go to for that?
If you type in, if you just Google Village of Washingtonville,
Okay.
you'll see the graphic, the burgundy.
Yep. It's the,
The hyperlink.
it's the barn over there, isn't it? Isn't the barn on South Street?
No, it's a aerial photo.
But it does look different. I changed
Okay.
the photo on the homepage.
Yeah.
The layout is different.
It's
We did a lot of-
Washingtonville hyphen NY.gov.
If only we
Yeah,
changed that.
okay.
That's,
Yeah, just a, yeah.
so if there's, right, so here's the thing, you have to navigate at the top. So when you first go on that page, that's our homepage. You will find the public notices there. You will find, for example, the water issue, the issue today,
Okay.
with the water,
Yep,
the boiling of the water.
notice, yeah, I see that.
Then, if you go on the top, and click on the calendar,
Okay.
that's updated.
On the menu.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, and then it's
Oh,
divided by boards. You can-
okay, perfect.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Yeah, we worked hard
Yeah, check
now,
it
and we
out.
actually are in the middle of another transition with a new webmaster. So when we came on, the previous webmaster was in the middle of like transitioning retirement. So, but because of our situation and all the transition we had to go through, he agreed to stay on until we kind of got somewhat settled. And he's been working hand in hand with who is now our current new webmaster. You know, now I'm still gonna be making some changes to that page, but everything you need to know should be right on there.
great, perfect.
And if not, let me know.
Yeah, no, this is fine. I was just going to the Village of Washington -10992
Yeah.
on Facebook.
So that's our Facebook page,
I
right,
thought
but you're
that's
not
where-
gonna find, yeah,
Okay,
you're not gonna
that's-
find the
that was
calendar.
the mistake, okay.
Are you gonna be,
Nancy?
Yeah.
you're gonna be sending out phone messages to tell about the meetings or no?
Well, you know, we don't do that regularly for every meeting, but like, for example, this was not our typical night to have a meeting. Our meetings are Monday night, so we did send out a C2Y message. You know about it, right?
And for special meetings,
I'm
there'll
just-
be messages, anything that's out of the ordinary in a sense, or something that's even landing on a regular meeting night, but has some high importance. CTY messages will go out, we'll hit the website, whatever communications we need to do.
Road closings, you got
Yeah.
one again for the boiling of the water, you got 2 today for that. So you probably noticed a lot of those messages been going out more than you probably ever had in the past.
I'm
And we
just,
try to keep the communication best we can.
Thank you, Christine.
She has a lovely voice, doesn't she?
I was just wondering if the messages went out regularly for the meetings, if you would get more people coming,
For just regular meetings,
you know, like this. I mean,
This is
or
an average group,
monthly.
per se.
this is actually above
You know.
average from what I'm,
You know.
from the past.
Well, in that respect.
They would
yes.
say nobody came, not one resident would come to most of those meetings. So, and the executive sessions, less of a turnout for some reason than regular meetings, so. I'm not executive, I'm sorry, work sessions.
Work session.
Work sessions are not public though, are they?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
That's-
public.
You're in one right
This is-
now.
This is a work session.
This is a work session.
For some reason I.
The format is different. With the previous administration, it wasn't open for public comment during the work session. So the public comment, they only held during regular meetings. We're opening it up to both. And throughout the entire meeting, you saw Tom ask in the beginning of the meeting if there were any public comments, right at the opening. So again, we're trying to keep the communication open, lines open, yeah.
What do they say? Feedback is the breakfast of champions, so we need the feedback from the public on what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't have all the answers, but that's why, that old slogan, it takes a village to basically work together hand in hand, We said it last meeting, we had some conversations. We're elected by you, right? That, you're our focus, you're our priority. So what your ideas are in your head, let us know. we don't have it all, but, you know, what we're here to do is present it to you and listen to you, so.
Oh, hey, I want to give a shout out to our DPW. They cleared up, I think, 5 or 6 different incident reports in the past 2 weeks. Everything from fixing a sidewalk that somebody had been asking for several years, to cleaning out a post that was a trip hazard. They fixed the curb down by Memorial Park, so a shout out to the guys, they've been out there working hard.
And Teresa, also now on our website, there is a place on our website where you can now fill out an incident report. It used to be pretty much you were coming in here to do it. So you
Yeah.
can do that right online now, and we all get it.
Yeah, we're looking for a work order system, something that when something comes in, it can be routed to that particular department, and we can check the status on it. Right now, it's kind of almost manual, but to Donna's point, you can put your information in there, we have your email, we have your phone number, description of the issue, and then it's being emailed basically to everybody, that department manager and board. And then we basically take it and we tweak it and we meet on these issues on a regular basis, depending on the priority of things, we shuffle. The chief is also included in this for police type things. We also added a computer right out in the lobby area that is dedicated to the incident form. So if you don't have a computer or you were here, you could sit down and type it out and put it in there, and then it, like I said, gets emailed to us, and we respond back to, normally I call the person who sends it in to let them know we have it, and try to give them an idea of time frame when it can be done, and then we get an email back from the department with that particular, I'll call it a ticket, and saying that it's closed, and then we follow up with the resident to see if they were happy with the work, and just want to make sure that everything is good. So.
I see a good turnout here. I don't understand why we don't get a better turnout to these meetings.
I know.
I don't know if people are unaware. I'm wondering if we can,
It's not bad.
Some people just don't care.
yeah. But there's,
Don't know.
how many residents are in this building?
7,000?
Over 6,000,
So,
between
about
6 and 7,000,
Yeah.
about 2,000 homes.
So,
But Mike, you've been coming for a while now.
That's right.
You saw when there was a huge turnout, and you, right? You've been to meetings where there were 100 people in this room.
I definitely like the, setup here.
Sorry?
I like the exchange of communication, which is nice.
Well, tell your neighbors. You know, we would love, we've been dealing with this for quite a while, you know, on how to get the word out. You know, it was in a different capacity, but here we are now as a board. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I mean, we started, like I said, we have the official village Facebook page, the website, and now we're putting out the CTY messages regularly. Maybe not for every meeting, but for, you know, anything important. Not that every meeting is important. I don't know how else to get the word out.
Yeah, I think if you do too many, people will opt out.
I'm sorry?
If you do too many, people will opt out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. That's a good point.
I-
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless there's something significant, which there was, going on, that's when you'll get the huge numbers. And then even then, it would start to fade. And people, when they feel, also, I think when they feel comfortable, maybe they just, you know, ride the wave a little bit.
So we want to have the motion to go to executive session?
Yes, we do. So, we're gonna go into executive session, there'll be no decisions when we come out of executive session. We're going in to discuss personnel issues. So could I have a motion to enter into executive session?
I will make that motion.
Can I have a second, please? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gotta go boil some water.
Try some more.
Have fun.
Short one.